All right, ladies and gentlemen. So some big news dropped on, big bomb dropped on the country rap community or gangstas, whatever you want to call it. 17.5 million. Well, let's see. Upchurch ain't even probably worth 3 million or 4 if that. Uh, so this is probably going to take them a long time uh, to pay off, which he ain't never going to pay off, you know. And now there's other lawsuits coming towards him. So he'll be working for the man for a long time. All right, we're going to take a look at some videos that were released today after the bomb was dropped on the rap, country rap, whatever it is, community. And this is going to be happening throughout this whole thing. And the reason I say that is because now these rappers, they just caught 2 or 3 of them that chopped up some girls or something. Uh, it's just very violent. That's, we were telling Upchurch, dude, get out of that rap shit. Anything with rap in it, get away from it. Take my word. I went through it in the 80s in Chicago and out west and everything. It ain't nothing but death. People shooting each other. You can't trust nobody. Get out of it. And they didn't listen, man. And that's just what it is. That's a whole different music community. It's not like rock and roll. It's not like real country. Rap is very violent, and it's a fact. Always was and always will be. Why? Because it came from the streets. It came from depression. It came from angry people, and it was built on drugs, death, and madness. And that's why a lot of us just, that's the brothers thing. The black man created the rap. Stay out of it. There's only one white dude that was ever untouched, and that was Eminem. And he's our great white hope. But that's it, man. And it's all coming down. It's just coming down. And we tried to how it sucks because Upchurch can sing. He can sing. He's a great writer. Um, but when you get mixed up in that shit, and now we're trying to find out, is it a scam? Right? I ain't never heard of someone getting sued because you said they're not real. That's your opinion. How do you get sued for saying, well, that person's not even real? I don't even believe that person is real, no matter what the tense thing, the contents is or whatever. But how do you get sued for saying someone ain't real? I don't know. I don't know. Was that the racket to keep the money away from the real man that the money is owed to? Probably. It's a racket. And we'll track the racket just because another family member gets a hold of the money. You have to remember the music business is a son of a bitch. And now we're showing it to you folks. It don't matter who has the 17.5 million because it wasn't theirs in the first place. It's pretty crazy, but that's the way the business is, folks. It's a racket. It's a gang life, mafia. Some say mafia controlled music, whatever it is. And just because he's broke, don't mean they're not coming for that money. You know, you got distributors that need to be paid. You got all kinds of stuff that's probably hasn't been paid. Probably car insurance payments. Here comes the repo man. Now he was the judgment for 17.5. Well, Ryan Upchurch now works for certain individuals, and everything he's got will be seized. Assets will be seized. He will probably have to give up his catalog. He's probably going to have to give up all of his copyrights because he ain't worth 17.5 million. His music ain't worth 17.5 million. Listen, I love the kid. He's a great singer. Do I know him personally? No. Did we try and help him? Yes. Apologize to the family and stay off of YouTube. And maybe you can walk away without a lawsuit. And that wasn't even, why? Well, because he had money and people went after him. Other people wouldn't let it lay that he claimed that Kylie Rodney didn't exist and wasn't real. Big deal. He has his opinions. Why this was even brought into court, I don't know. I'm looking at this is crazy. How do you sue someone for saying that someone is not real? Whatever the contents be, whatever it is, I don't know. I have no idea. It was probably something other than that because you cannot get sued for saying someone is not real. And that's what's going on. So let's take a look at Jim Bob, Jim Toe, Jim Gotcha Man, whatever his name is, Gotcha Man or whatever. He just put something out. That dude's kind of funny too. But this is the fact, Jack. And I don't know what to tell these people. I'll tell you what, these people will use you for everything you're worth. I wouldn't doubt it if they have life insurance on. I bet you his managers might have life insurance on them. I bet you some other people might have life insurance on Ryan Upchurch and are just crazy. Probably trying to get rid of them or so. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. But we're going to watch old Jim Bob here real quick. Let's check this out. Oh, these people are like, well, he wasn't signed to a contract. You don't have to be signed to a contract to owe people money, to pay for protection so you don't get your brains beat out on the street. All these dudes coming at me and everything. Being a bouncer, it ain't worth it. All right, let's take a look at old Jim Toe, Jim Bob, whatever his name is. I don't know who these guys are. This ain't the end of it, folks. I tried to tell you people, most of these people are killers themselves. Chopping up girls, putting them in their cars and everything. Just stay away from that rap shit. I probably would get Upchurch on a psychiatrist's watch because he'd probably kill himself. I would too. $17.5 million because he said a girl wasn't real. Now, I understand what all these dudes are saying. She was real. I agree. I agree with these guys. She was real. Or whoever was in that car, because we don't know. Why? Because we didn't see autopsy photos of actually who was in that car. If you're going to do it by crime and proof, we have no idea who was in that car. They say Kylie Rodney. Okay. That's fine with me. Go with it. Whoever was in that car was a real person, whether it was her or not. And my condolences to her family. But this is what happens when corruption is everywhere, even in the law. How do you sue for someone for saying it was something other than that? Because you cannot sue someone for saying they're not real. That's not defamation of character or anything. So something fishy's going on, Jesus, within our law and everything. This is ridiculous. You're going to have a country implode on itself. Why? Because the laws are so stupid. Our courts are letting literally psycho, serial killer madmen, convicted criminal rapists of children walk away, and they're trying to sue somebody for saying their opinion. whether UPCHURCH was wrong or not, believe me, I agree with some of you. He's crazier than a coon. For all I know, the kid's under a curse or was spelled by somebody or whatever. Who knows? But your country is done with when you get sued because you say someone is not real. Remember that's either this whole thing is made up or someone's trying. Some UPCHURCH owed somebody big, and this could be. Is it possible this whole effing thing was made up so they can hide the money? Oh yeah. Believe me. How many times have we got to tell you we're catching government people? They'll make up this whole damn thing to pocket the money. We're going to get to the bottom of it, We'll get to the bottom of this whole thing, but this is just gone crazy. This is too much. Let's check out Jim Gotcha Gucci Gotcha Man, whatever his name is, dude. And this dude seems like he's got a level head, but I'm even telling this dude, you watch your stuff in that rap shit, that country rap shit, brother. I'll tell you right now, I'm Johnny from Chicago, and they will kill you quicker than a dick on a stick. If you get too deep in that shit or whatever. I'm just trying to help these people. I mean, they keep screaming out to me, there ain't enough white people dying. All right, the black man has died. Enough black. I didn't create this shit. I was born in '68. This madness wasn't mine. I'm not inheriting it. I don't want it. I'm sending it back. Right? Amen to Jesus. Let's go with this. We're going to see what's going on there with the Gucci, man. Gonna get him some Gucci. He can't even say anything. He's just disgusted. What is going on?
Yo.
Well,
daggone. Do you even have $17.5 million, brother?
He ain't got no $17.5 million. Well, you know, dang boy, no.
This is Buick Now. Buick, exceptional.
No, he ain't got 17.5 million.
Sorry.
His goddamn catalog ain't even worth 0.75. It's in that million. He ain't got
like
that.
4 different people sent me the news article. Poor Jerry. 17.5 million big ones, brother. Damn, I hate to hear that. It'll be Chad's fault. Chad, you rascal. Chad, you did this 100%. It had to be your fault, Chad. Who else's fault would it be? What's up, hardcore?
That son of a bitch.
Yeah, man, that poor fella just got hit for 17.5 big ones. And here's what's funny is I was just getting ready to make a reaction video to what is this Instagram shit of trying to beg Adam Calhoun and then back into a back and forth. And I mean, he's always done it, right? But I was like, man, he's laying it on thick. It was from last night, I guess. And it makes sense now. You're really going to have to lay it on thick now. Talking about, where's that album from Nashville? Why? You need to be a part of it? You need a little extra money, Bubba? Weakest Link, T-Dan, what up? Guy's a fool. Yeah, bro. It's embarrassing, too. Somebody like me who's not even in the music scene, I can name several songs that was dropped from the Nashville project. And I think he can too, but that doesn't help create drama. That doesn't help, trying to make some of the money that the Rodneys took, right? So it's embarrassing, bro. It's super embarrassing. It was up to 30 minutes. Well, and here's what, and I'm going to butcher this terminology, but there was a motion to bifurcate or however you say it at the very last minute, right before trial started. There was a motion to bifurcate and break it into segments. And maybe old Doug Bishop, when he's talking about there's always going to be freedom of speech, maybe he was part of the bifurcated part that didn't, exactly go the way everybody else thought it would. But at the end of the day, there's freedom of speech, but there's also defaming somebody, sending a cult-like group of folks after somebody for no apparent reason whatsoever. The same reason that you believe that Adam.
And that's just it right there. Which we told UPCHURCH that. Dude, don't talk about that. That's it. All right, she's not real. Get over it. Right? If that's what you believe, don't say no. But it's the other things that he probably did that antagonized more. And how did they, I agree with this freedom of speech. He has the right to believe that somebody ain't real. But now this is perfect proof that, which if you watch my channel, I told you, this country is going to implode on itself with lawsuits. And it will jam up the court system so much that serial killers are going to be on the rise. Gang shit, everything, because they ain't ever going to make it to court because the court will be so jacked up with the most stupidest lawsuits. And I agree with the professionals. It's over with. The whole system is broke down. So, UPCHURCH has the right to voice his opinion, but it didn't stop there. If he would have stopped there and made one video saying, I don't even think this girl's real, or whoever was in that vehicle wasn't real, whatever, and left it at that, he probably would have been safe. But it was all the other crap. And then the creekers attacking all of us and everybody. See, now he ain't got the money. So now there's other lawsuits coming and he don't have the money. He ain't even got 17.5. He's lucky if he's got a couple million probably. I don't even think he's got cold cash. Everything's probably credit or something like that, But that's what happens when you let your balls and your what do they call that? Ego get in the way, and he had money and they were bragging about it. I can remember him and who's that Calhoun dude or whatever bragging. Ryan UPCHURCH makes $500,000 a day. How are you going to do anything to him? Well, I don't know how, but they're going to, and they ain't going to stop with him. Right? Most of you dudes are criminals. Shouldn't even be around guns. Shouldn't even be on the street from what the government's saying. How we are, I have no idea. Corruption or saying, maybe. These guys were trying to kill people, Most of them just got out of prison or did time in prison. So this is like a very delicate thing in the music business. I mean, that's why rap, you won't catch me in some of them streets in Chicago. Unless you know somebody there, you ain't making it out of them places. Especially if you're white. I mean, no offense, brothers. I've been down there. I know. You go into some of them towns where this rap stuff is big. They'll kill you. They don't care. It's a zoo. No offense, brothers. You built this kingdom of the rap. That's why we stay out. We don't go into the rap world and tell the rap world how to run their shit. They don't come over to rock and roll and tell us how to run our stuff. And I don't know, this whole crossbreeding and all this shit that's going on, I'm like, it ain't good, man. The only one that's got the clearance is Eminem. That's it. The rest of you idiots can think you're somebody in the rap world, but you ain't Eminem. You got no pass. I mean, I'm just relaying the message down to the rest of these days. I don't say. These dudes are nuts. Let's continue to listen. It's over with. The whole thing's over with. He ain't got 17.5 million. What's he got to do? Cut a deal. Cut a deal with the family. Call yourself. Don't have lawyers. Call. And well, he might not be able to contact the family. So the only way to contact the family would be through lawyers. Now, what a mess when you can't call the family and try and cut a deal between the family or whatever. You know, you're going to have to stop spending money. You know, you're going to have to sell stitches and the rest of the shit in the 30 houses you got. You know, this is horrible. Horrible. Because I'm one that thought UPCHURCH had a good voice. He could have crossbreeded or whatever, cross jump, whatever they call that, where he could have, if he wanted to, he could have went maybe into rock and that was it. But his whole thing was country. And, you know, this whole country thing. And once they had their hooks in them, it was all over for the kid. You know, you start running around with dudes that are legit gangster gang members and rapping and fight. Yeah, it's a proven fact. All the rap stuff is connected through gangs and everything. I ain't dumb. I've listened to Snoop Dogg and the rest of these guys talk. Fueled from the streets. Most of them are gang members, and they'll kill you quicker than a doorknob. That's just bull crap. Now here's UPCHURCH, which the kid was crazy. He's funny, but being that I have a disability and I can see somebody that's on the brink of madness, like I was, and still am YouTube and all this stuff, drama thing. I can't handle it. My disability, Tourette's and ADD and all this stuff is affecting my artist and affecting my work, my music, and stuff. I just can't. All right, let's get back to Jim Joe here and check him out and everything. It's pretty funny. You know, I got no beef with this guy. You know, these guys have beef with everybody, but all we could do is protect ourselves from the beef. That's all we could do. You know, because they'll smack you in the face with the beef, and I don't go that way. So this is a whole tattoo thing. So I don't have tattoos, so I don't go that way. So let's check this out. Let's just check all this out here real quick. See what's going on with Jim Joe. Yeah, if we can find it here. Look at he's saying the verdict's in. Court's in session. The verdict is in. No rest for the docket today. Just their own sin. Wow.
Calhoun went to Mexico as a detour on tour.
Went to Mexico.
To do some P. Diddy
shit.
I don't know what. I can't even remember the crazy shit you said. There's drugs on tour buses. People should be pulled over and stripped in the cold and handcuffed on the side of the road. The same reason you believe that it's prudent to say ignorant shit like that is the same reason you came on this platform and drug a poor little girl through the mud. And at the end of the day, still not even slightly apologetic about it. And I think that's the part. I mean, especially when you get a jury of peers that's looking at you and like, look, people say stuff, people make mistakes, but if he came in there and was like, look, man, I'm sorry, like I truly didn't think shit, you know, whatever. But
I agree with
he
this
went in there with this big dog attitude.
That's right, brother.
Big news.
What I'm saying.
Even better deals are coming to Musician's Friend.
That's all about. That's what I'm saying too, boy.
Find premium gear at unbelievable outlet prices. Hurry, once our deals are gone, they're gone for good.
I'm telling you.
Shop today at Musician's Friend.
I want to give a shout out.
When I say,
I want to give a shout out to Steve from Boston's channel. That dude, he put out a video today because he's running out of guitars. The stock is down. He can't get guitars shipped to him that fast. But Steve from Boston today put out a video of all the Monday morning guitars that he's gotten from the guitar stores, and they gave him to do reviews on. And he put all them in a big collab today and showed every single guitar that dude does on his channel is just incredible. So big shout out to Steve from Boston. That was a great video, a big collab of every guitar that we've seen on his channel on Monday mornings. Great video, dude. Great video. All right, let's just get back to Jim Joe here, because I agree with this dude right now. If UPCHURCH would have just left it alone, and all this creek crappers or creek crackers or whatever they call these dudes, creekers, if they would have just stopped coming into people's chats or stopped harassing people or whatever, if he would have just left this alone and just made that one video where he said, I don't even believe she's real, and left it alone at that, I don't think he'd be in trouble right now. Yo, Kelt, how you doing there? All right, let's continue here. I don't even know why that.
He's got a big head. Like the prednisone has swelled this motherfucker's head up, bro. He literally looks like that. Hey, you guys, and just like stuck his thumb in his mouth and blew his head up. I don't know, man. Like I remember when everybody was
the dude from Goonies
and so happy that he first got sued. I remember coming on here and saying that's not cool to relish in somebody's downfall. Damn, has he made me eat those words. You cannot slander people and weaponize it, bruh. The weaponizing of the audience, weakest link, is the biggest part of this.
Oh my God, it's not slander when you tell somebody, I don't think them people are real. How is that slander? Can someone explain to me how that is slander? Although I don't agree what Ryan UPCHURCH was saying, or how far he took this. No matter what, bottom line is I covered that case, the Kylie Rodney case, the whole thing. People, well, how do you know it's her? It's her, because the footage shows the car driving into it. Now, if there was foul play, whatever it was, she was in that car, and that car drove right into the lake. Now, once again, there was other vehicles leaving that area at that time. Now, was it possible to drive a car into a lake if there's a young lady that's already passed out, maybe drunk, or maybe something worse? Yeah. Whoever was in that car was real. And the footage showed it from the fire cameras. Right? That was a proven fact. Her vehicle drove right into the lake. Now, whether it was by her or someone else, simple as that. The body that was in that car was real. I don't know why they took it this far. Maybe he thought he was untouchable because he's got billions of quadrillions. Who knows? Hello, Kelt. How you doing? Oh, heck yeah. Me and country, 2 peas in a pot. Kelt, here comes Turner. Oh, Turner's telling me to shut up. I better get back to this video. Let's get going back on this video.
It's not just a simple, what? I didn't think she was real. He knows what the fuck he's doing. When he comes on here and he says, hey, not only is she not real, but it's a scam. It's a scam for GoFundMe. They're all just doing this big scam organization. There was no, like, the parents are in on it. And here's the parents' business. Here's where they live. Here's where they make money. Here's what they do. Got it. Get him. Sick him. He knows what the fuck he's doing. Baby Cakes. Somebody stole money. Nashville YouTuber.
All right. This Jim Joe guy is telling the truth. And what I mean by that is he could have just said, I don't think she's real, and left it at that. Now, the whole thing UPCHURCH is saying that this is a scam, a racket. And people are pushing the family. They see money. And that's also true. people probably were pushing the family to sue. How dare you say she's not real or whatever, when you're dealing with money. Now, the whole thing that UPCHURCH was saying was the whole thing was a scam. They were some kind of a church cult or something. They had a resort, okay, on the lake, and the resort was going down. Supposedly, there was all kinds of rumors out there. Kelt, I don't know if you watched that case or not, the Kylie Rodney case, and covered it. But there was stories out there that the family's resort, it was like a resort, camping place or whatever, was going down or something like that. There was all kinds of stories. So could it be possible that what Ryan UPCHURCH was saying was that it's a racket? It's a scam. And it very well might have been if he would have kept his mouth shut, called the FBI and the police, and left it at that. They might have investigated it to see if it was a scam, if they were trying to make a grab for the money, as Mr. Trump is constantly saying to us. Right? He's pointing at all kinds of people, Donald Trump is, and saying, you tried to make a grab for the money. Right? These people are trying to make a grab. They'll rip you off, steal, whatever. So maybe, we don't know. We don't know. Let me see what's going on. I missed hanging out with you guys. Christopher's there. Well, the whole gang's there. My cutoff rap point was Young MC 89. Well, I'm telling you. We warned them. We told them. That rap crap, it's going to be violent. Next thing you know, you're going to have real gangsters coming at you, kid. Real clubs and everything. They all work together, man. It's a proven fact. They're all connected. They're all connected in prison. They're all connected out. It's everything the federal government, Homeland Security, and 7 more branches that you people never heard about saying we got a problem in America. There's a coup happening. Literally, they're trying to take over the country. And possibly have connections to other countries, and they're helping them. I remember when they took bin Laden out and they started investigating bin Laden, and they found out bin Laden was connected to music in America here. He even had 3 mansions in America. Why? Because his younger family was connected with music. Yeah. Yeah, look up bin Laden's family mansion in the United States and watch that video. His family was connected to the music business. So I'm telling you, it's a crazy world. I don't like it. Nobody's real. I'm not real. I'm AI. You're AI. We're all AI. Wouldn't you like to be AI too? Let's get back to Jim Toe. In the wild world of the rap, country rap.
Not Nashville artist, right? Listen, from the beginning, the first ever news article said Nashville YouTuber. That's got to sting a little bit, right? Gotta love the headline. Hope you and the fam have a great week, great weekend. Yeah.
Well, he's right. We're going to take a look at the article real quick here. All right, let's jump over here and we're going to take a look at the article. Here is the article. They don't even mention country rap music star Ryan UPCHURCH. No, this is Nashville YouTuber. They're not even labeling him as a musician. Music. Nashville YouTuber hit with a $17.5 million verdict in defamation case over true crime video, attorneys say. Now, is this true? We have no idea. Everything is a lie. Everything, even these people putting out fake stuff so we talk about it, and then they turn around and try and sue people for talking about it. Pretty crazy, if you ask me. I know this much. They just caught another rapper that refused to tell the truth, and what he did was killed the girl. And she was sleeping with him. He met her when she was 11 years old. He was way over age, and he groomed her. And she decided she was going to come out and tell her story. And the guy panicked, and he said he wasn't going to lose his music life. And he dismembered her. He killed her. And, I've been in all these crime channels, and we've been talking, and I'm like, if this guy did this, how many more of these guys have done this? And how many people have done this in the music business where, you watch Metallica talking about, man, we took showers with 50 to 100 girls. We had no idea how old they were, their age or whatever. And I keep telling these guys, they just want to get by you. Oh, they're all underage, probably 13, 11, but that's the racket. And most of these chicks are at your concert because their parents are sending them, hoping that their 11-year-old brick house built daughter sleeps with one of these guys so they can get 17.5 million. Or they're going to go to the press and tell their story and everything and wreck your whole life. Yeah. This is hell, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand the earth you're on? Why? Because the Bible said it was. The devil is all around us, waiting to try and suck us into anything. We refuse to step into court with anybody. We'll just go to war. We're not going to court. Why? Because the court's corrupt. How stupid can you be? Yeah, I got politicians in general saying we ain't ever going to court. We'll blow this effing country up before we give up. We'll light this whole effing country and world up before we surrender. And by golly, that's what we're going to do. I'm making movies here, gentlemen. I don't know what you're doing. All right, let's get back to Jimmy Joe.
But man, does that suck. I spent the same amount on that engine hoist that I did the damn transmission for this car. But anyway, Dagbird Skinny Dogs is saying, what up to Jackrabbit Slim? I just wanted to read that name because I think it's funny. Because the transactional YouTube karma is also hitting that doofus over there. Which, you know what? And I don't, who wants to speak on that fucking moron anymore anyway? Because let's be real, Ryan Upchurch has definitely took his place. Ryan Upchurch is the new Johnny Gobble that just comes on the internet, says the wildest, untrue, outlandish shit for attention. And I guess we're just going to see how far that rides out.
Yeah, but that's YouTube. That's right in the contract. Nothing's got to be real. That's entertainment. There ain't nothing. It's entertainment. Nothing is real. That's why I tell people no one's been killed on this channel or this movie set. It's all reenactment or everything. It's not real. Yes, the movie is based off of someone that was real. The movies, pieces of it are from a real event that happened. But what we're doing on set and on our channels, well, some of us, is not real. But there are these YouTubers out there that really are chopping people up and killing people. Right? That DGA, whatever his name was, that just killed his girlfriend and put her in a trunk. was a social media YouTuber and a rapper or whatever. And this is crazy. It's just gone too far. It's gone too crazy. I don't, it's just gone too crazy. I have no idea who K-pop is. I couldn't tell you who K-pop is, and I'm not obsessed with any of these idiots. I'm not even going to. But now I can sue these guys. See what these guys are saying right here in my chat? If I wanted to, I can sue these guys because now this is defamation of character. This is this guy in my chat, Paige Turner, saying that I have Nancy Guthrie's in my shed. Now, see, are you crazy? Are you crazy? You must be. Now, could I sue this guy? Yes. And it's all on evidence right here, right now. Even if he was to delete that, it still shows in the playback what he said in the first place. But you know what? I didn't base my life and career off of suing people. I worked for a living with real men that called each other names, racial names. But that was part of work and being a man is taking and having a tough skin. You know how many times I've been called a honky on the job site joking around with dudes? Even the N-word. You people can't live in my world. You shouldn't even be in my country. I don't know who let you in, but you don't sue someone for voicing your opinion or joking around or whatever. You're a bunch of idiots. I want all these people out of it. This is the cause of my country's demise. Let's get back to Billy Bob here.
Right? I mean, because that's exactly what he does. Thing that does surprise me, though, is the fact that there may be a fellow YouTuber that Dagburn had stabbed in the back and had slid up the side and maybe out motorcycle riding with him. That's a whole nother story. And listen, sir, you know who I'm talking about. You're a great guy and you see the good in everybody. So for that reason, I'm not going to tell anybody who you are or go in on you. But you were burnt just like the rest of them. And to be out just riding motorcycles with them, I guess you really do see the good in everybody. That's a whole nother story, though. I don't even want to talk about that. Let's talk about the 17.5 million big ones that this big-headed doofus. Your lawyer said, hey, let's settle out of court, dumbass. Right?
Yeah, that's what we said.
Could have saved you
rid of this
probably
shit.
about $16 million.
Yeah.
Could have been like, hey, let's just give them $1.5 million, apologize for dragging their family through the mud, apologize for sticking the card on them.
Yeah, we told them that. And it is sad because the kid just didn't want to. He just didn't want to listen. I don't blame him. When you got that kind of money and your head's up at 9 clouds up above, I don't blame him, right? He wanted to go into court with it. Well, a lot of people agree with him. Why is he getting sued? But you have to remember, folks, this is all ongoing stuff that Mr. Upchurch has been placed into. Now, whether Mr. Upchurch created this mess himself or others around him created this mess, on the fair that maybe Mr. Ryan Upchurch was saying too much of the truth and other people might have gotten in trouble. I don't know. Now, why Mr. Upchurch's team didn't control him and say, okay, whoa, wait a minute, we believe you, but we need you to stay out of this mess and sit back while we investigate it and look into it. But he didn't do that. He was going. I think they might have dosed him. Who knows? For a while there, he was going crazy. Now, whether he was on drugs or whatever, or someone dosed him, I'm not sure. Maybe he was off his meds. I've been there before. I know. I mean, I've been in that situation with meds. If you don't take your meds right, for a long time and let them work. They're not going to work. They still ain't going to work, but it helps. It helps out. You don't know. You don't know. But like I said, everyone told them that get out of this. Everyone did videos, get away from this rap stuff, go into country or rock and roll. Right? I commented on his Alice in Chains cover song. Dude, that sounded great. You could jump over into rock and roll or something, or classic rock or something like that, or just go country. You didn't want to hear it. Nobody wanted to hear it. This was coming from many years of watching many great managers and promoters and people. We've seen people say, we're not going to hire that band. And they don't. It's too much trouble, too much controversy, too much bullshit. We don't want them. And the promoters, it's a sellout guarantee. Guaranteed, if that band would have played there, it would have been a sold out show, probably 3 nights in a row. But the promoters and the that's how it works. We don't want them. They're too much trouble. They're too much trouble. And they pass on them. I don't want my venue busted up. I don't want gunshots outside my venue. I don't want drugs being sold. And we passed. And that should tell you something, right? Because that was an easy, probably $5 million in my pocket for doing nothing. And that's just the way the business is. That's why it's broke. The business is broke. The madness is broke. I'm done with it all. I'm retired. I don't want nothing to do with it. Hell, when your artist won't listen to you, what do? There ain't nothing you could do. Walk away. Do what Journey's manager did. The great rock band Journey? That manager walked away. He did all he could do for Journey. And when things started taking a different route, he said, that's all I could do. My last great thing to Journey, and he and that was it. He walked away from it. It was all he could do. And when they won't listen to you, when they start thinking you're stealing money from them, and they're hallucinating, and we've seen it so many times. Kurt Cobain, Alice in Chains, all these guys. Even Elvis Presley became so paranoid or whatever because of just the power, the money, the fame. And then you got God syndrome, and they think they're gods. You can't tell them nothing. Even though you love them, you're trying to save everything. They don't want it. You're an idiot. I got millions. I'm a rock star. You're going to lose it all. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And boom, there you go. And there's many more on the way, folks. Many, many more on the way. Get your tickets now while you can. Let's get back to Jimmy Joe Johnson here. See what he's got.
And that would have been it. That head's too big, bro. Way too big. For somebody that acts like he's just such a small town mind, I don't care about money. I'll spray paint this S10 outside. I don't need none of it, whatever. Well, if you don't care about money, but you couldn't,
why are you in the business?
Couldn't just give an offer to a good, 17 million, Smo, 17 and a half. Verdict is just in minutes ago. $17.5 million.
Is hell.
I don't think dude's got it.
No, I don't. But here's the thing. I don't even think this is true. I mean, are these people even real? Is this even a real? I've never seen them before. Who are these people that are pumping this shit out? I have no idea. And that, my friends, is called a racket. Is this even a news company? Who knows? Or is this somebody that woke up today and decided, I'm going to put this out and save 17.5 million is what Ryan of Church Law? We have no idea. Were you in the courtroom? I wasn't. Is it real? We don't know. Is any of this real? Or is it all a scam or a racket to try and sue me? Who knows? But you're all nuts. The whole world's nuts. And now welcome to my world, because I was already declared nuts by the Oval Office. I'm just saying, welcome to my world.
Smelling your foyer. You know how many fights you're going to have to pick in the country rap lane to make that 17.5 back, Bubby? God dang. Hey, you did it once, though, supposedly, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. You did it one time. So, beard.
This will be interesting.
Turn up for 800 joules. Baby cake, I appreciate it. I don't even know what that
Ryan
means,
Upchurch can make a comeback, lose it all.
But yeah, man, look.
And then come back like 8 Mile.
God, it just,
Eminem.
There has to be a lesson learned in this one. There had to be a lesson somewhere, right? Let's be honest. If you follow along and you know this man and you followed along for as long as some of us in this chat, myself have, then you know Deerdorf TV, 17.5 mil, bruh, Deerdorf. But you're going to be doing better than that dude. Listen, you're going to be better off running around doing what you do, hustling. He's back on that fake cop car shit, too.
Valdez said, I got plenty of lawyers, Valdez. Plenty of lawyers. And street lawyers. There's two kinds of lawyers in the music business. The one that goes into court, and then there's one on the street. So you got to have all your bases covered. Remember what Uncle Joe Walsh sang in bases are loaded in case we're attacked, playing it play by play. You got to have all your bases covered. If you want to do the job right, we know that you're going to have to kill in the music business. You're going to have a good lawyer that's going to have to go into the courts with you, and then you're going to have a good street judge that busts people's heads and opens fire when you tell them these guys got to go. I mean, you guys want to be Donald Trump. You want to conquer the world. That's how you conquer the music business. Get yourself a good lawyer for court and get yourselves one of the baddest, deadliest killers in the world for the streets, because you're going to need them. Because that's what we're dealing with in America. Crazies.
Look, that's the thing. You're going to have to pick fights with everybody to come back from this one. You know what I mean? Deerdorf's going to have to be conspiracies, and yeah. You're going to have to Indian give a lot of shit. But listen, that Cadillac and double wide from Chad, it's not going to make a dent, Bubba. You know what I mean? You got to blame him for that shit. I hate that for him. Look, we all do, Smo, and and that's what I was saying a minute ago. A couple years ago, whenever he first got served the lawsuit papers, there was some certain people in here, they know who they are. They literally made a video. In the opening of their video, they did this. They said, smell that humble pie. And I remember, like, I made a direct reaction to that and said, nah, man, don't kick a man when he's down. And then 2 years of this man saying, nah, fuck y'all, man. I can say what I want. I still don't believe that. And he said, he referred to her as bitch. I still don't believe that bitch is real, and I don't have to, and blah, blah, blah. It made me, it's still not right to kick a guy while he's down, but it made me look at the situation.
Jim Bob's right. If UPCHURCH would have just kept his level head and said, she's not real, I don't believe she's real, and left it at that, this probably would not have happened. But when he did all them videos saying crazy shit, that's what did it. That's what did it, man. And then you had people watching. You started hearing rumors that the family was losing their resort, all this and that, all this madness going on in that Kylie Rodney case. She was beat up before, she was raped, whatever. She was thrown in the, no matter who it was, they didn't deserve to die like that. But when he went on making these outrageous things, I don't know why his lawyer didn't tell him, keep your mouth shut. We believe what you're saying. Maybe it might be a racket. It might be many people involved, which usually in these rackets and scams of people suing or countersuing or what, it's just a racket. That's how they make their money. They ain't never picked up a hammer or carried a piece of wood or shoveled shit out of ditches or concrete. They never had a hard, they never worked in a factory 10 hours a day. The only way they know how to make money is suing. They don't have the capabilities that go to work every day. They probably couldn't even do the work that most of us have done being men. A trade or something. A lot of these dudes probably couldn't do it. I don't know. How do they do it? They steal. That's what they're all criminals. Proven fact. We're going to sue you for saying that. And that's why your country is burning. I'm not going to lie to these people. That's why. Because this whole thing is misadvertising. The United States is not freedom of speech. The whole thing, freedom, is a line of crap then. You have the right to voice your opinion. How this turned into Ryan UPCHURCH was, running somebody defamation or whatever. I have no idea. Probably all the other videos he made of she's not real, she's using curse words and all this and that. And, maybe, I don't know, but that's why on this channel, we have no idea if this stuff is real. We have no idea, I'm going to be honest with you, if that verdict that was put out is real. Could be AI. Excuse me. From what Trump's saying. Because they just asked Trump the other day, what do you think's going on with all it? It might be AI. I never said that. Might be AI. Well, he might be right. He might be right. I don't know. And Ryan UPCHURCH might have been right. His opinion was he don't think she was real. Okay. But all the other stuff probably. And then people antagonizing. And it was probably other YouTubers that antagonized this lawsuit with the family. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it if some of these dudes contacted the family and was like, "Oh, you can sue him. He's got millions." Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. That's what America is. America has lost morals, integrity, and so much. So much the devil has taken from America. It's unreal.
Completely different.
Discover the freedom that cordless lighting can bring to your home with Pookie.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a big verdict for the country as well. And look, don't get me wrong. I'm not the type that doesn't see the bigger picture and the implications on freedom of speech and all that stuff, because there's going to be a lot of that, right? With this verdict, there's going to be a lot of people come out and be like, well, that's an attack on our freedom of speech. And anybody that's like, loathing in it and happy about it, then you are just idiots and you're the problem with this country. But you have to look at it more than just surface deep. You have to, he'll make it.
I agree with this dude. I agree with him. Right? There are people out there that are going to question this. This is freedom of speech, but it is. But when UPCHURCH made other videos and it went way past what it should have went, that's probably where he broke the law. Him saying that she was not real was not breaking the law. It was the other stuff after that probably brought this on. He didn't break no laws by saying she wasn't real. And that's why we need lawyers to come out and say, hey, his freedom of speech wasn't broken. He has the right to believe that she's not real. It was, boom, this. It was this video, claiming that it was a scam, that, calling names and crazy shit that probably brought that on. Him claiming that she was not real, in his mind, he believes she's not real. He has the right to believe that and say that. But probably in court, they would have said, yes, that's true. But it wasn't that. It was this. And then they showed all the other stuff, and they were like, oh, yeah. You're breaking the laws by that, because now you're claiming that they're coming after you, and then vulgar language, calling her the B word and all that. And, you just can't let it be a lesson, though. I mean, this ain't over for UPCHURCH, right? UPCHURCH, who knows? He might cut a deal. He'll have to give up some of his houses. Well, who knows? Sell stuff, pay money. He could make a comeback. He could lose it all, right? Would that be a movie there? A documentary? He lost everything in a lawsuit. I've been there, dude. I got everything taken from me, UPCHURCH. You can't get blood from a turnip no more. And after you're broke, your troubles are going to go away, kid. After you ain't got nothing and they have taken everything from you, and the only thing you got is yourself and God, then it's time to rebuild. They took everything from me. Didn't give a shit about my disability. Didn't give about nothing. Now I'm rebuilding. And an empire I will build. Just as they used that empire to take everything I worked with my hands to build. All right, let's get back to Jim Bowie.
I don't know what you mean by make it hardcore. I don't think God's playing. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I see it from both sides, but I also know that if that man would have walked out of that court with no verdict and judgment against him whatsoever, I think a lot of folks would have lost hope. Smo, I think a lot of folks would have lost hope, in the system in general, and just where the line really is. There has to be an established line. There can't be a huge gray area. You can't just have this broad spectrum of what is freedom of speech and what's defamation. You know what I mean? Like there has to be, we all live and we all learn. That at the end of the day, that's all I hope too. There has to be a rock bottom. Coming from a former addict, you know, you're always an addict, but coming from somebody that, you know, is in recovery, there has to be some sort of a rock bottom. You have to take an L somewhere in order to have like a fresh launch pad to start from.
I agree.
And in this man's mind, even his whole family walking out on him and losing all ties to every business association, like every friend, every family member in his hometown, none of that was enough. And so in his mind, he, you know, you're always right until you're not. And
well, let me tell you something, buddy. It wasn't his life. That's why his life is a wreck. Because it wasn't his life. It was someone else's life. See, when these guys get so much money and power, they just want to become, they see me, they're like, I want to be Johnny Kramer. I want to have his voice. I want to have his talent. I want to have, and I've seen dudes literally just take my whole destiny. My whole thing that was cursed from the word go. And now their worlds, they're not doing good. And I praise Jesus for that and God. Like I told you, the world's gone crazy, folks. I didn't make this stuff up. This is their magic, dooey boo-boo stuff. Well, I don't know what they're doing. Voodoo shit or whatever. Yeah, maybe, probably from what some of these guys are saying in the music world. Yeah. And you can count me out of that, baby. I don't do that. I don't roll that way. I ain't never had to turn to the devil for something like that. And thank Jesus for that. And I never will. I don't roll with the devil. And I ain't rolling with the pack, Jack. And that's a fact. Yeah, I'm not dumb. I've already lost everything. These people will take everything from you, make you a total nut job, and act like they're your bestest of friends and they did you the favor. Literally. Crazy. Let's get back to Jimmy Joe.
That ultimately, at the end of the day, hopefully that's what this does for him is, his ego would not, man. Thanks for being a member for 7 months. I appreciate it. You know what I thought about doing? I can order some shirts from that site that I sell those. I think they're called like samples or something like that. But I think if I order bulk of them in samples, I thought about ordering some and sending them all out to the members because I think you guys have earned at least a shirt for being. I don't take that lightly. Like I really appreciate people being members. But $17.5 million.
At GovX.com, this is what service looks like. And this, because service where...
Yeah. Well, and I don't want people to not speak their opinions, Mo. That's, you know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying either, but you have to just... I think you know when you're being malicious, and I think you know, like, I think a person, not you, but I think a person knows when they're just being a malicious dickhead.
You know, I'm going to say it again. Many people played a part in the demise of Mr. Ryan Upchurch. Even his own family. His mother was on there. My son's gone crazy. He's on drugs. He's gone crazy. He's doing this. He's doing that. All the people Upchurch was hanging around this, Johnny Gobble, other people, Johnny Cashville or whatever his name was, or, you know, the whole thing. And they were supposedly his manager and some other thing, and things weren't going great or something. The whole thing, right? The videos of Ryan Upchurch making of Johnny Cashville, that supposedly stole his music gear or something. I don't know. From a place that he was and everything. When your manager is stealing your own equipment, you got trouble. You got to change everything. New manager, new team, everything. No more tough guy shit on the internet. Get back to music, kid. Could he survive this? Yes. Yes, he'd have to go into court, get himself a lawyer, keep his mouth shut, get back to work making music and pumping out records. He would have to go back in and cut a deal with the courts or cut a deal with the family where he don't have to pay the 17.9. He's going to pay money, but not 17.5. We're not sure if this can even be done. You'd have to talk to somebody with brains, some kind of a guy much like, well, as these idiots are claiming, a Dave Levine, which is in the music business. And some say could have been a great lawyer, you know. But being that UPCHURCH is not signed to a record company means he don't have the power of the record companies behind him. So now everything he does has to come out of his pocket. Yeah. And that's one of the things, you know, it's good to be independent. But when shit gets deep, it's also good to be signed to a record company. Why? Well, because they got quadrillions and they got a bunch of lawyers and they got pull on the streets, if you know what I mean. But being that you don't have that and you're independent and on your own, you got to hire your team, your lawyers, your manager, or manage yourself or whatever, you know. All right, let's get back to Joey Job.
And they're just flexing their power and money and flaunt. And he said on multiple occasions, I was editing a video before this verdict came down of him because I'm getting ready to drop the part 2 of the compilation of all this crazy, wacky Instagram stories from the last year or whatever. And man, is it taking me forever to edit out all the crazy intention. Exactly. But in that alone too, he says multiple times he was coming after Broadnex and Demon Jones in this clip that I was just editing right before this. And he's saying to them, he's calling them out directly, and he's saying it in the most direct, crazy way possible. Like, hey, your guys' silence is makes you guys an accomplice to whatever it is he thinks Adam Calhoun was doing at the time. And he's like, and I don't care if you guys take me to court for what I'm saying. I don't care to lose money. I got plenty of money. You guys drag me through court all you want. I got plenty of money to waste and burn, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I know that's crazy, but I can do that. And that, I think that's what this was too. This whole Kylie Rodney thing was, I don't have to apologize and I don't have to bend or bow to anybody because I've got endless amounts of money, right? And that is, to me, that's intention. Like that shows intent. Like you're, sorry, man, I'm getting so. While I'm live, thank you to everybody that has sent me the verdict. I truly appreciate you guys. But yeah, that's intent, right? I think at the end of the day, if you have to follow whatever you're saying by go ahead and take me to court, I don't care to lose money, then you know you're saying something that you shouldn't be saying or doing something you shouldn't be doing. Honestly. And you can only do so much evil for so long before something has to come back on you. But honestly, at the end of the day, hopefully this changes this trajectory in some way. We can all move on from this nightmare, this fucking crazy train that we've been on.
Well, he's right. Hopefully he can make a comeback. Would I be worried about him? Well, this is 17.5. Nothing is fine. Nothing is right. We have no idea if any of this is real other than the madness that we've seen on YouTube, which YouTube is entertainment. YouTube also might be protecting Mr. Upchurch somewhat, because Mr. Upchurch has got millions and millions of viewers and makes YouTube money. So, you know, it's a touchy thing. But if I was managing Ryan Upchurch, I'd say that's it. It's over with. You know, I'm going to walk away. Either you stop this madness and get back to doing what you do good, which is music, and leave all this bull crap behind, or I walk and find someone else to deal with the madness. You're bringing it on more on yourself. You know, who cares about Demon Jones? I imagine the demons are coming to get Jones. Who names themselves Demon Jones? Now I think these people are demons. Now we have every right. We're defending ourselves. We are defending ourselves against this madness world that these people created. They're naming themselves demons. What kind of world is this? I have no idea. You know, it's obvious Demon Jones had something to do with something, and the rest of these guys, and Calhoun and them. And what is sad is, like so many of us told Upchurch, yeah, it's possible these guys did do something to you. It's possible they did it to a lot of people, right? If you look at their records, it don't take a rocket scientist. What do they all have in common? Prison. Prison. If they killed me, you know, surely if they killed the father, right? They killed the son. They killed me. Surely they're going to kill the rest of you. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, but that's the world we live in, folks. And you can't change my mind on anything. What will change my mind on all this is if God Almighty, says Johnny, comes down peaceful, all my pain, everything wiped away, and says, no longer, my son, do you have to go through this. And freedom is, then I'll be, sweet Jesus, thank you. Till then, I'm just going on a wing and a prayer and praising God. All glory goes to God. And we're on a demonic earth. You know, if I don't have someone putting my balls in a vice with this voodoo stuff, or have me curled up in the corner, I don't feel right anymore, right? I mean, that's what a lot of people on YouTube are saying. We're all being attacked. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, I agree with you. You know, everyone has the right to voice their opinion. No, that's all I'm saying. We're doomed anyways, because it's gone so far that these people are teaching it's okay for men to have sex with each other. America's over with. It's most of us weren't, you know, involved in any of this. A lot of these people are doomed, and they weren't even gay. They weren't even gay. Well, ain't that something? All right, let's get back to Joey Cinco.
Not celebrate their shortcomings. Exactly. That's what I was just saying a minute ago. Is I do not condone people just celebrating somebody's downfall, kicking them while they're down. You know, what I do recommend covering somebody that has more than outwore their welcome. You know, I just, man, and it's conflicting as it is. Like I had to eat that video from years ago where I got on people for smelling humble pie, so to speak. But man, I don't know. But, you know, and that's what the justice system's there for. That's what checks and balances are here for, is because somebody has to, at the end of the day, ultimately draw a line in the sand and say, this is what the law is. This is what we are allowed to, this is what's acceptable. And we have to hold everybody to that standard.
How's this kid going to get out of it? I don't know. What can he do? Get a hold of a lawyer, dude. UPCHURCH. You might be able to file a certain bankruptcy where you're at least be able to keep one of your houses and a car or whatever. Talk to a lawyer. Don't ask one of your YouTube rapping friends or any of these dudes. Talk to a professional lawyer and ask them, what can you do? Are you going to walk away flat broke and you're living in the streets? Or is there some way you can cut a deal wherever you keep so much and they get so much and over time you pay the rest? Or you might have to give up royalties, or you might have to give up the catalog, which you're not Elvis Presley, kid. You're not Michael Jackson. Your catalog ain't worth $600 trillion. You're going to be all right, UPCHURCH. You're going to lose everything. I lost everything and didn't do anything. People just hated me and just didn't want me to have anything because I was outdoing them and I got brain problems. So they were very upset at me. All glory goes to God for keeping me alive this long. You'll survive it. Don't do anything stupid. Yeah, this is going to hurt. Everyone's going to say, we told you so. 17.5. Yeah, you might be back down into the dirt where you came from. You might have to go back to the old dirt roads, the country roads, and write your way out of this. All it takes is one big hit. And boom, change your ways. Maybe think about signing a contract with somebody for a couple years. Right? You might have to do a couple things. As long as you can keep a house over your family's head and a vehicle, be happy with that if that's what they give you. And then write your way back into take a break, get your head straight. Let this all blow by and write a number one hit. You got capabilities of doing that, so do it. Pay no attention to it. I don't know your financial situations. I don't know if you owe other people. I don't know what kind of people you run around with. You have to be careful of that, because if you're running around with a bunch of gangsters and you owe them money, you can't file bankruptcy with them. The streets don't file bankruptcy. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to scare the kid. You'll be all right, UPCHURCH. I'm just saying, you get yourself into trouble with somebody or owe some of these guys money on the streets don't file bankruptcy. They don't care if you file Chapter 11. I mean, hopefully he knows that. But let's get back here to Jerry Joe.
There's a lot of shit in this world. Don't get me wrong. I understand the taxing the rich to help the bums. I completely get that. I completely understand that there is a war on freedom of speech right now. I get all that. But you don't get to pick and choose and use that to your advantage to kind of smooth over, just gloss over, sweep under the rug your own bullshit. I do not agree with that whatsoever. I don't think we should, and that's why checks and balances are there. Because if people were allowed to just use it how they see fit, ain't no way. Hold on.
Own a vacation rental? If it's not listed on Booking.com, it's invisible to millions of travelers on our platform. Don't let your vacation rental be invisible. Get seen, get booked. On Booking.com, Booking.yeah.
There are trucks, And then there's the 2026 GMC Sierra. It's the
They're probably doing a drive-by on Gotcha Man.
Cops here. Nah. This is how you know my wife drives like a grandma. So some neighborhood kids came up here. Oh my God, I think that was Saturday evening, and wanted some popsicles. And I cut some popsicles open and I put this on the back of her car, like right above her hatch. And she's driving around with that for 2 days. What up, Deerdorf? What Deerdorf say? So many people have been ruined by this guy. I have met so many people, or good people lately, that ruined their life. Yeah, dude, you put that much negative energy in the world, something's going to come back at you.
Well, I could tell you this much. It ain't good. You know, it sucks up, church, but don't do anything stupid to yourself. And once all this is over with, dude, and you're flat broke and you ain't got people knocking at your door, calling you 24/7, you're going to be like, this is great. And then start over. Take some time for yourself, write yourself, and pay them their 17, whatever it is. I would go ahead and see if you can appeal the verdict. Maybe cut a deal. You should have cut a deal right off the bat with the family, but before it went into court. You should know that in the music business. Anything. How do these guys survive? They pay people off. Listen to the professional mafia guys who at one time ran the music business. They don't want to go into court. They'd rather handle it outside of court. That's where you pay them out. Here, go away. Well, there's $200,000-300,000. Go away. And have them sign something that states they're not going to come at you again. Debt paid, and they're not coming at you ever again. But that's just part of this business that these dudes are in. It's a racket, money. Magic, witchery, sorcery. Yeah, I believe it. I can't believe we let it go on this long. Voodoo and all this stuff.
Merry Christmas, Deerdorf. Amen. Listen, and how's he going to spend this, right? The man that doesn't take an L? How's he going to spend this? But he must have felt this coming, because last night, like I said, those Instagram stories from last night, just trying to stir up that same old drama bullshit, man. That same old, Adam, what'd you come down here to the studio for? There was never no songs made. Bullshit, there wasn't songs made. And Adam's getting ready to drop another album from what I hear. What are you doing? Losing in court. At some point, you have to see the shit you're doing ain't working, Bubba. Man, I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't risk it. Like the rest of us, we work our asses off doing shit like what I'm doing out here to build something for our children to have. And I'd be damned if I was a man that already had a potential of wealth to leave my daughter, but decided my ego was worth more than what my daughter's future was. And to sit on here and not only degrade people and defame people and shit on little innocent girls that died and ruin their family, send my goons after the family, but then be 100% unapologetic all the way up until that day. And that, my friends, is what makes people go, yeah, you get what you got, right?
Well, that's the truth. It was so much stuff that led up to this, I think. You had the whole thing with that chick. Who was that chick that he was dating or something? And then she ran off claiming that he did something to her while she was sleeping or something. You had that. You had the other thing with the gobble thing or something about someone being murdered or something like that. This is all playing a part in the demise of Ryan Upchurch. This whole thing with Kylie Rod, who put into his head to go through with that? I don't know. Maybe it was these other YouTube or rappers that he's talking about that was pumping his, oh yeah, go ahead, say that stuff, man. Oh yeah, nothing can happen, don't worry. Maybe it was somebody pumping him into doing this. But if I was any kind of friend to that dude or knew him or was managing or anything, an advisor, I'd have been like, don't listen to these dudes. Don't put that shit out. That could have been your daughter. It could have been your child. That's what I put out on my video. This could have been our kid. Kylie Rodney could have been our daughter that happened to. You know, I would have advised them, no. Bite your ego. And no, especially when you got that kind of money. No, you're going to wreck your own life, your stage presence, your whatever they call it, fame. I would advise them to do that. I would advise all these dudes, no. You know, I'm going to kill that guy. He says it. No. Bite your tongue. Watch your back. But don't do anything. They're trying to sucker you in. That's how they make their money. Sucker you in to doing something stupid. And then they sue you. Yeah. So it's all a racket. All right. We are coming up on 1 hour.
Man.
Well, everybody's shocked. We didn't want to see Upchurch. Now, even though
I don't know if you watched me live. The guy that's texting me right now, I don't know if you watched me live. I've never even asked what your real name was, but you have solid information, my brother. Is Reckwood never in here? For people just joining, $17.5 million. We're going live tonight and bringing folks on the app. Yeah.
Now, he also can do charities, help Ryan Upchurch, and people can donate money to pay his verdict off or his whatever this is. There's numerous things that he could do, but mainly he needs to concentrate on getting back to music and start putting out songs and do what he does. You know, after all this is said and done, whatever houses he's got to get, whatever he's left with, he's going to have to redo. Can it be done? Yes. There is life after hard drugs, fame, fortune. And believe me, Upchurch, the first day you wake up, you don't have to worry about any of this. When you're truly out of it, and there ain't people bothering you, calling you on the phone and making videos about you, that's when you'll really be free. And that's when you'll start over. Right? Write a number one hit and be right back on top. Pay the bill, get it over with. Stay out of this thing. That's just advice. You don't have to listen to me. I'm an idiot. I lost everything, including my own life. Now I become the ghost of Johnny Kramer. Dun, dun, dun. A victim of the great Odin. And a victim of love.
Yeah, Chad, I'll jump on that live with you. Just send me the link, brother.
Icon G2 ratchets. New styles, expanded sizes, only at Harbor Freight.
It's just me and you, girl.
Old Spice turned our boys to men. Although we've come to
Can't let
Give me
go.
that old
Anything
time.
that you will. It sounds like child.
It's old Spice's world.
Sing it, baby. Sing it. I don't give a crap.
Okay, I got you. Oh, no. Don't put them in timeout. Touchscreens suck.
No, they time me out.
17.5 million. Jelly Roll said, that's what it'll be.
Jelly.
Hey, he'll be making the next song. Somebody save me from the court. You know,
I'm gonna have to make some call. We're gonna have to save Up Church, but let this
You
be
know
a
what?
lesson, Up Church.
I think that power of attorney that Belu's brought over was on page 17.5 million. And then Chad came through and it was 1705 minutes military time when Chad showed up that day. And then my mom took him out in the shed, blew him. Sorry, Chad. I don't know where I was going with that. I think Chad's the only one that didn't get blew by. God dang it. I'm sorry. Fuck. Fuck, man. You're live, James. You can't edit this shit out. Sometimes I go on. Is that Trey? I just popped in. What's the word, y'all? The word's $17.5 million. That Ryan. God, I hope that family. Man. And you know how it is. The verdict is just part of it. You still have to squeeze the blood out of the turnip, right? Chad, Jim Bob, and Deer.
Yeah, it'd be forever.
I pay hell of money for that collab. You know what? Well, just to say, you'll never know where I'm going to be at. We'll just say that. Hey, from Fargo, North Dakota. I hear it's cold up there. About as cold as that $17.5 million verdict. Ooh, that wasn't even good. That was terrible. But yeah, so what do you think? What do you think? We're going to see a bunch of late night freak out Instagram stories?
Well, Of Church, hopefully you learned from me and you got yourself one place for your family to live that no one knows about, that not on record with anybody. Keep that and start over. Whatever the verdict is, whatever you got to do, whatever deal you got to make, whatever, get yourself a lawyer. Don't you try and handle it yourself. I've seen you say you're not happy with your lawyer. Find another lawyer. I wish they had a public defenders. That would handle that. You might be able to find a public defender or something. You might be able to find someone in the music business, a lawyer, that might side with you and say, you know what, I'm going to go and see what I can do. Help you out. Don't do it again. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your nose to the grindstones. You're not a gangster. Stay out of it. No, we don't know. I'm just giving advice. Nobody wants my advice, but I watch the world crumble around me, just like my world. Just like what they did to me. They'll drive you crazy. They'll poison you. They will drive you nuts. And you're going to find out, Up Church, that most of these people themselves are nuts. And it's the nuts leading the nuts. You're going to find out that even family members are nuts. You're the sane one. They're the nuts. Yeah, you'll find all that stuff out. Let's get back to this. We're almost done with this, folks. I got other things I got to concentrate on.
We may see a Dagburn collab with Ryan. I mean, hell, he's got nothing to lose at this point. He's literally the same person. Literally the same person. Rusty Truck, shout out Rusty Truck. I was watching the live of his last night, and it was an old video from Gobble from like 3 years ago, where Gobble it's still the same Gobble, still blames everybody for everything. He was talking about how people in YouTube made him smoke cigarettes and all that. This was before YouTube lost his jobs and all that crazy shit. But when Triple T wins, who gets, bro? But anyway, what up, Seeper? 17.5 big ones, brother. But what was I saying? Oh, and he was playing this old video Gobble, how everything was everybody else's fault, and it wasn't Johnny Gobble's fault. But Johnny Gobble was like, I got the evidence. I've got phones worth of evidence against this person, that person, this person. And I'm going to prove to everybody, this, that, and the other. Everybody's going to jail. John Holbrook, Zach Stapleton, Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs. They were all like, had their 1 foot across the threshold in prison. And I was like, damn, who's this sound like?
Mike Rowe from
This
Dirty
sounds
Jobs
exactly
Discovery Channel.
Ryan Upchurch, current day. Ryan Upchurch.
Oh my God.
And listen, everybody said like Deerdorf, Chad, Ripta, all these people that were close to Ryan said that he like studies people and he adopts their personality and he adopts their persona and all that. Like, did he watch Johnny Gobble and study him so much that he turned into him?
I told
that
you,
now
got
he's
your
the
Gucci,
new,
man.
I've got all the evidence, and everybody in my hometown of
They ain't
Nashville
who they
is
say
corrupt.
they are. They're mean.
I mean, come on. You guys
I'm
have
the
seen
rock star.
the Instagram.
I'm the badass.
You guys have
Stole
seen
it.
the Instagram where he's like, when I get done with downtown Nashville, there won't be a downtown Nashville. It sounds just like Johnny Gobble, man. Just like What up, Chill Rock? I got a Nashville native in
it's
here.
all improvising, dude.
You know you're not going to exist anymore once he's done. You're going to prison. Deerdorf, you've always, what did he say? Some super gay shit. You've always looked cute enough for prison, Deerdorf. You always had that twinkle in your eye. What fucking self-respecting grown man says some shit like that? And then turns around and shows a whole plethora of Polaroids. Which that's in the video I'm getting.
This is
a whole
crazy.
plethora of Polaroids. I've been
This is
staring at these
crazy
Polaroids
shit.
of all my friends that won't talk to me no more.
We don't
because
have
I'm a
this
raging
problem in rock
lunatic.
and roll, really.
And I was staring at their faces. You know what I thought? They all look suspicious. Look, they're not even smiling all the way. Now you answer this. Am I the wrong one? Yeah. You got 17.5 million reasons to figure that out there. Hell yeah, Seeper, make sure you get up with me. Oh, damn.
Oh,
What's
this
going on
dude's hilarious. No,
People
I don't
mangling
know
in the
these
chat.
dudes. I'm going to be honest. For YouTube records, court records, and music records,
I don't think Seeper's
I don't
the
know
type
any
to come
of
to a
these
redneck
idiots. I just
grave,
find
brother,
it
but it's right around the corner from you.
It's hilarious. This is just, hey, my condolences to the Kylie Rodney family, right? I covered that case. And did it very well. And I feel sad. I think there was foul play. That's what I think. But I can't prove that. Right? That is her vehicle that drove into the lake, and the fire cameras revealed that. And there was other vehicles that were taken off real fast from that area. So there's a lot of people that have their rights, that are within the crime community to voice their opinion or whatever. But I don't know who was letting Upchurch say this stuff. I don't know. And I found it kind of crazy because Ryan Upchurch has millions. Why would he even, folks, do you understand? If I had millions and I had what I had before, you didn't catch me on YouTube, and you won't catch me on YouTube again. If I had that kind of money, and in the music business and making music and everything, I would not be within the crime division. But for some reason, people were pointing out to me something is going on. Why is he trying to come into the crime division? He's a music dude. And I said the same thing. Dude, what are you doing? You do what you do best. And that's music. That's what put you on top. That's what made you your money. Get out of this crime shit. But he didn't care with the videos that people made or the opinions. And it was suspicious. Why? You're an upcoming country rapper, somewhat famous on YouTube. Why would you be worried about that? Now, either he is not what he said he was, or something fishy was going on, because why would he want to come into the crime sector if he wasn't either needing help to try and solve this thing or something else? I couldn't figure it out. I know it was fishy because I'm like, this dude's got millions. Why is he trying to get on these crime channels for this stuff? Why is he trying to get out of it? And many, many, many years ago, I made a video saying, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're a music dude. Why are you in the crime community? It didn't make sense, but now it's all starting to make sense of what was going on. He was probably looking for help.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Matter of fact, Ryan, listen, you can, I'll talk to Justin and see, I might be able to get you in there. He's not going to pay you like 25 or $5,000 like some other artists, because you got to work the trust back up. I may be able to get Justin to give you like $250 if you want to come and do Holler Boys for, the good old one more time for the one time. And that'll be $250 towards this $17.5 million. Hey, every dollar counts. You know what I mean? You can make a dent in it. That was too far. It was kind of mean, right?
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, that was kind of, there's 250 towards that. Towards the 17 million. Yeah, but hey, is Ryan UPCHURCH done? No. Listen, if he can do it once, he could do it again. And when I worked with some dudes in the trade business, I had a buddy that was like that. Just go through money, and he'd be like, I can make it back. And at that point, he could. It was nothing big to lose, thousands. But at that age, when we were in construction, yeah, he could make that money back. And I always looked up to him for that, because that was his attitude. He was married a couple times or whatever. Lost a lot of money, but he was like, listen, Johnny, I can make that money back. They can't. And I looked at him. I was like, bud, you know what? You're right. And he did. At that time of his life, when he was younger, in good health, yes. He was in the trades. He made that money back. But in the long run, he passed away. God rest his soul. But is it the end of UPCHURCH? No. And he ain't exposing anything we didn't know already. In the music business, it's corrupt, shady, and it'll get you killed. All right, let's go. We're going to try and make it to 2 hours. Man, this was a long one. 2 hours. I feel bad for UPCHURCH, but this might be what he needs. This might be what he needs to get back and get his feet on the ground. And look at it as 7.5 million. Ain't nothing. Drop in the bucket. And get back to work.
Is that right? Well, my God is a really understanding God. And as long as I tell him I'm sorry for certain things and repent, and never say a little girl that had a whole future in front of her tragically died, and call her a little piece of shit, bitch, and send my goon cult to ruin her family's businesses and stalk them, and Google Maps, the local sheriff's saying the sheriffs ain't even real.
This is what
whatever, dude.
Was,
whatever.
I don't know who was
cares?
running.
Who needs to argue semantics anymore? Because hey, I think now that there's been a verdict, then that's good enough for me, right? Some other people agreed with me that that's a piece of shit move. That may not be all because they have punitive. No, yeah, that's the next phase. Like I said in the beginning of this, you may not have been here in the beginning, but they broke it down. There was a motion bifurcate, however the fuck you say it. I'm gonna say it wrong, but they split this up in several different segments because it was such a mess, right?
Wow.
God, the real people who lose is not only that girl and her family, but you got to think of Ryan's old lady and his daughter, man. That's fucking sad, dude. That's so sad, dude. Like, you think of all the future problems that's at. I mean, not to mention CPS that this dude's inviting into. You guys see my video, right? Like telling an.
Well, you know what got you, man. I agree with you, and brother, I know you got a heart. I know you're right now, right? You were also one of them, which there was many saying, "UPCHURCH, chill out." So I was there. I've seen you say it. You're right. But you know this is going to be devastating, my friend. It would be on you. I could tell you it would be on me. I can tell you that much if they hit me with a 17.5 verdict. And I ain't got 17.5. And we got to make sure, you know what? He brought up a good point. UPCHURCH's life right now, even his family life, is a wreck. And we don't want to see another music man go down that road and do something stupid to his self or family or anybody. So I'm asking man to man to the rest of you. Yes, you can all do your, yes, Ryan UPCHURCH, we all told them. But you have to look at it now. We might have to save this kid's life. Because he might be on something. He might have mental problems, maybe. And we don't want him to do anything stupid. We don't want prison for him. We don't want him to do something stupid. You know, I wish that on no man, right? On no man. No, I'm asking man to man to the rest of you guys. Yes, I know this was all, you know, mainly his doing with this Kylie Rodney stuff. Now, the rest of the stuff with Jelly Joe and Calhoun, whatever their names are, the rest of these guys, Yellowtail, what I don't even know all these dudes. I don't know any of these dudes. It's just YouTube stuff I stumbled onto, watched, and that's about it. You know, I did watch a couple. You really want me to tell you how I knew about Ryan UPCHURCH? Was I seen him do a cover song. I've never heard any of his music except for a couple songs, and I thought they were my guitar tracks. But I didn't go any further than that. But the first time I seen UPCHURCH was him doing a rock song, and I was like, the kid can sing. The kid can sing. You know. And then I seen him do the Alice Chains thing, and I was like, you know, the kid can sing. But then I found out he's not a rock singer or any of that. He's in this country rap shit. And I was like, oh, no. Here comes trouble. And that's what it was. You know? This whole thing, we don't know. We weren't there. We don't know. We don't know these guys personally. The whole thing with UPCHURCH doing the videos that he's taping people, and he's got video of people walking around in his woods holding hands, and some of these guys might have been Fruit Toops on the Lulies. I mean, and I'm shocked. But then again, I used my head, and I'm like, well, these guys are all ex-prisoners. So if they're there on the property walking around holding hands, then yeah, maybe. I don't know. But to put it all out there for the world to see is probably what caused this mess of church. And you have the right to film on your property for your own safety and protection. You know, I mean, UPCHURCH is probably now holding the ball if he's got cameras everywhere and these guys are walking around tiptoeing through the tulips hand in hand out there. I don't know. Maybe there's rumors going around that someone in town was sleeping in the devil's bed. I'm not sure. But that, you know, we'd have to ask the Eagles, one of the greatest bands ever. Now let's get back to Jimmy Joe.
Officer of the law. Hey, my wife is a raging drug addict, and the house that she just took my daughter to, somebody just overdosed on fentanyl. It's a whole mess. Hey, you guys definitely want to look into my entire family and my wife and my daughter. You know, not only is that a problem, but this guy is just setting a fire to any kind of a future that they could have. Look, listen, buddy, if you're going to be in here crying, is your God okay with you celebrating the downward spiral of another human? Absolutely. This human? Absolutely. Jesus Christ, Gabe. Go screenshot the Adam Calhoun videos that he said he'd pay you $300 a week to do. Go do that. Matter of fact, how's that working for you, right? Because turns out it doesn't matter if you're screenshotting what somebody does. If it's meaningless and it's from a dude that's spiraling out, yeah. Because my God wants to see people win eventually. My God wants to see people turn shit around. And the only way you turn shit around is you have to eat shit eventually. You have to finally hit a rock.
Well, amen to that, brother. I mean, I agree with this dude somewhat. But somewhat, I'm not happy that this happened to Ryan UPCHURCH. I'm not happy at all. I'm not happy at all, but this is just little bits of everything that has accumulated. Some people are saying, well, he did a video with the Outlaw MC Club, Outlaws or whatever, the bikers or whatever, you know, that put people onto him. No, maybe people are saying, well, he did that. Well, maybe it was a little bit of all this choices that he thought were good because he's seen other people around him. Now, Ryan UPCHURCH might be somebody that is a impressionist, meaning if he's around somebody, he becomes that somebody. If he watches somebody, he acts like them or he does what they're doing. Maybe the kid has been MK'd, ultra'd, or dosed. And like Jim Bob here was saying, he becomes other people. He becomes their life. This guy might be right, but no matter what it is, I feel bad when anyone loses their life or anyone loses in life when we live in a world where it takes us so much to accomplish something and it's all thrown away within a heartbeat. So I agree with this dude. It was just, he just kept going and going and going when people were telling him who's running this camp. You know, and there was a lot of people making videos. If I was his manager, I'd tell him to get off YouTube, apologize to that family, see if you can work out a deal. Don't go into court and stay out of this crime thing and get back to doing what you do. Well, but people won't listen. When you got millions and you have somebody that looks like a bum, like me, that's been on Earth and seen how the racket, and all you could do is give advice. These people with money look at you and say, you know, why am I going to listen to you? You ain't got nothing. You know, what do you know? Well, I know this much. People want what you got, just like they wanted what I got. And for no reason, they'll come up with the craziest shit. they'll do the craziest shit to get what I got because they ain't got it. Whether that be my soul, my talent, my abilities, whatever. My property, my home. And that's sad when you live in a country where because you worked and had something, someone else wanted it and created a madness. Or you had a kid and you end up losing everything you got over the greatest gift God can ever give us, a child. I think it's appalling that we lose everything over a gift that God gives that we're supposed to cherish, love. And people are using that as a weapon and using that as a money-making machine. A child. She didn't love you. Not at all. That wasn't the plan. The plan was to get pregnant, and now she's got you by the balls. Now everything you got belongs to her and that kid. Never was love involved in any of it. It was all about money and control. And that's the kind of world we live on, folks. Let's get back here to Jimmy Joe and see what else.
Bottom, you have to finally be held accountable for something, Gabe. And you know, he would be better off if you guys had a nutsack and could tell this man that, but you guys can't. That's why you're in my chat crying about me saying that he got a judgment against him. If you put half the energy into coming at me trying to protect this pussy, then he wouldn't be in the position he's in. It's people like you that is the problem with this guy. You're one of those ones that probably went after Kylie Rodney's family. Fucking moron. Asking me if I should be celebrating it. Should
There ain't nobody celebrating Kylie Rodney's death. There ain't nobody celebrating Ryan Upchurch's demise. And I don't care what people say. This dude's right. Do I know this dude? No. Never met him in my life. But does he make sense? Yes. Yeah. Because why? Because I've seen it. People were trying to help Ryan Upchurch, and we don't even know him. The kid could sing. He had talent at rapping and writing. And whenever you can get one, you know, one of the white ones, because everything is racial on this earth, folks. I don't care what they tell you. We live on an earth where it's racial. Always was and always will be. And that itself is a battle to overcome if you're going to be on earth, because it's always been here. And it's been programmed into us through media, TV, you name it, money, rich. All right, let's get back to Harry Potter here.
you be trying to prevent it? Because you're part of the problem, buddy. Jesus Christ, man. These people, I mean, there's no winning with these people. But it takes stuff like this. You know, look, your leader has to take an L before any of you fucking people will wake up. I'm not a supporter of Ryan. Whatever. Sure you're not. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, man, people have to take an L, man. I had to take an L. You think I was happy to get sentenced to prison? You think I was happy to lose everything time and time again? No. Did people celebrate it? Yeah, probably. They probably had a right to, man. And thankfully, I took an L, because who knows where I'd be if I didn't. People have to take L's in life, and his L just happened to be $17.5 million judgment. Did I tell you guys that? Nashville YouTuber.
Get this exceptional offer on 2026 Cadillac Optic models.
When you call Bill's Heating for service, it's a service call, not a sales call. Our service technicians are not trained.
Oh, shout out to you, brother. I'm not going to say and read the minutes on YouTube, though, but man, closing arguments. Dude, I got some of the best people. Shout out to all y'all. You must understand what a judgment is. It means any assets can be seized. Yeah. Well, and Seeper, listen, man, like he put the new house he put in a trust for his daughter. And honestly, I kind of, for his daughter's sake, I don't know. You can tell by how he talks to the police officer about his baby's mom, about how, well, she didn't have a house. She didn't have anything, which that just tells you that if it is a trust or he was trying to leave it to her for his daughter's sake, that's not the case. He's way too power trip hungry for that shit. Like that's sad. But, you know, at the end of the day, like somebody like me, I would be okay with them not being able to touch that house as long as his daughter was able to live in it for the rest of, you know, her foreseeable future or whatever. But that's a whole nother story, and it's not even my business to speak on or whatever. But speaking of business to speak on, where's Cashville at? Where you at, big dog? Man, y'all speaking on this man, bro. Don't count against him, bro. Slay back tough like coming through the
Cashville's his man.
But yeah, man, it's all about the kids, man. Honestly, that's why people are so mad about this in the first place. That poor little girl that he shit on. So those same people would love to see, you know, Ryan's daughter not suffer from this. So it goes both ways. It works the same both ways, man. John, back at you. Is Cashville? Where's Cashville at, man? Come on, Cashville.
Well, the only thing Upchurch can do,
you don't have nothing to say about this,
is pick up his toys and start over.
The same dude that'll never apologize and walk into a courtroom and say, I don't care. I don't believe she's real, and I don't care what you guys say. Fuck all y'all. Take all the money you want from me. Is the same guy that'll stand you up on a studio session when you think that you're actually going to go in there and rebuild this man and make money with this man and do good business. There's no such thing as good business with this dude, man.
There ain't no
I would feel, you know how stupid I would feel
anywhere
if I was on YouTube 1 minute defending this man that literally less than a month ago tried to put me in prison for having connections to Redneck Nation and Bobby and all that, and say, oh, well, you're in with my dad. What? Hashtag prison. I'm sending you to prison, Cashville. And then 1 minute defending that man who just did all that. And then behind the scenes, like, all right, man, so let's work on this new album, man. Let's set up the studio session. And then that dude stands me up, doesn't even show up, gets in his own head again, can't get out of his own way, and then still come back here and say, man, all y'all are wrong about him, bro. Nah, man, he's doing good. He's got like 3 days of clarity. I don't know, man. All you can do is make enemies that way, because people are going to try to help you as much as they can, but there's only so much people can do, man. And whatever. It's so conflicting to try to talk to him anyway, man. 1 minute, I'm sorry, man. I know you're right, man. Dude needs help. And then the next minute, it's YouTube. Yeah, nah, me and my people, bro. Me and my 12 point, we're going to go after you.
Well, here's the thing. At this kind of point in your life, that kind of money, who do you trust? Well, you can only trust family. But as we've seen in Ryan Upchurch's life, which is in so many of our families in this world, when it comes to money or whatever, power within the family, whatever, you and your family goes bad on you, who do you got to trust? Who do you got to turn to? No one. Because at the point we thought that Ryan Upchurch didn't even trust his own family. His own family was trying to take him down. So what do you do when you got nobody? Well, depending, if you got streets, well, then you turn to the streets. I don't know. But when you got nobody, what do? I probably would go crazy too. Well, I have, so. That's what loneliness will do, or your opinion will make people hate you.
How's that working for you? How's that going? Lori's World, what up? Triple T, what up, man? It's a good day for Rodney family. R.I.P. Kylie Rodney. Man, You can't be stressed enough, man. That's the real winner in this, man. And God, it's just so sad still, man. Like, take a second to think about the most recent loss that you've suffered, whether it be friend, family, or what. And just think about, and it's not just it's not as simple as just some dickhead talking shit about it, you know, because everybody does that, right? But imagine, like, right after your family suffers this massive loss, all of a sudden your business is attacked. And these days, online, Google ads, like all that means so much to business these days. And all of a sudden your Google rating takes a dive because all these little Gabes and fuck faces out here.
Well, see, that's what it was their business was the resort that they had. The Kylie Rodney family had. And they said that their resort suffered because of what Ryan Upchurch said. So I don't know if he was talking about, I think I remember something about him talking about it, how they had a helicopter pad there and he was there or something at the resort or something like that. Or there was a whole bunch of videos on it. So I don't know how they suffered, being that he just thought that that she wasn't real, that it was some kind of a scam. But maybe that was him saying that it was a scam. And the reason they were suing him was because their resort was going out of business or something like that. So it was very crazy of what was going on. And all we could do is say, get out of it, you know, just apologize and walk away. You know, apologize to the family, you know, send 20 of your friends down there, you know, to stay at the resort or something. Give them some business or something, you know. But it'll cost you if you keep going this. It's going to cost you a lot more than what, you know. But these people won't listen. I don't blame them with that kind of money. Do I think I would listen? I don't know, maybe. I might have listened. I might have been like, you know what? I got money. I'm somebody. I have talent. And I'm not going to let this take everything. I'm out. I would have walked away.
Just think that they're fighting for the right person. And they truly believe this dude. They believe that Adam went to Mexico for some big drug raid or whatever. They believe that that girl never existed. They believe that, you know, it was all Church's baby mama doing all the drugs and doing all this. They believe all this shit. And they will go to the end of the earth to fight and defend this man. I just couldn't imagine being that kind of, I just couldn't imagine being in that state.
I'm going to be honest with you. Do I believe any of that stuff? The only thing I believe that is true out of that is Kylie Rodney was a real person, or whoever was in that vehicle was a real person. Could have been one of our daughters, could have been one of our sons. What the rest of the stuff, him saying she wasn't real, I didn't believe that. But the rest of the stuff that he claims, that these guys are running the dope and shady shit going on within the business, within their little clique or them guys or whatever, now that could be real. And the only reason I say that is because of their past. So that could be real. Now, I don't know. If I was an investigator, I can prove that Kylie Rodney was a real person, or whoever was in that vehicle was a human and a daughter of somebody. You know, he would have to be able to prove that these guys are what he's claiming. Now, would it shock me if these guys are what he claims? No, wouldn't shock me at all because of their past. And that's what a lot of people that are watching this are saying. You know, something is going on. He ain't acting right. Either someone roofied him, or he's on something, or someone did something, or he knows something too much, and it's all coming down on him. Someone's doing something. You know, yeah, could be.
Of grief, and then having all that come on the back end of it. And that is what probably charged them to go along with this lawsuit in the first place, is everything that came with it, you know.
I agree with that. It was just all this crap. And you have to,
you know, Red Fox, I understand the cheerleading when you're a stakeholder. I get it. And I've said this to this man a million times. I get it. Like, you have stake in this. This is where your money comes from. You have to defend it. But at some point, not all money's good money. King Family reacts. What up? I seen another Smo. How bad was that message, T-Dan?
So the market has a clock?
So the Realtor.com market clock tracks data like inventory, time on market, buyer demand. So you know what to expect when you buy or sell.
Well, I'm on the clock, so I got to go.
At GovX.com, this is what service looks like.
Oh, okay. What a child. What's the last thing Smo said? I still can't imagine the reality of the situation. Yeah. I don't know. It's sad, man. But anyway, I know there's going to be thousands of other people that want to jump on this.
I don't know what this was. I don't know the whole thing. I don't know this Johnny Gobble dude or whatever. Supposedly he's up for a murder something. Somebody saying he's been accused of murder or whatever. He's been attacking people or something. He's got troll accounts or whatever. He's going through a murder case or something right now, or investigating it or something. And then you have this other guy, Johnny Cashville, that was supposedly his manager that was stealing equipment from him from the studio and all kinds of stuff. And then you have the whole thing with the girl. I forget her name or whatever, where she claimed he did bad. I mean, it was just all the whole thing with Calhoun going bad, the whole thing with Jelly, this whole thing, taping and the whole, it just all caught up and boom. It just all came down, man. Why would they even get, you don't, for one, you don't do anything without your manager being there and your security team. You know, don't sign anything until your lawyer. Don't commit to anything, because you have to remember who you're dealing with in this certain group of music. These are guys that have done time for murder, rape, numerous things, running a racket. So you keep that in mind, you upcoming rap music people, country rap. The genre you're in is very dangerous. This is not a problem in our rock and roll, classic rock, or real country. This is not a problem. We operate different. We don't have gangs and madness and you know, although the government's saying that some of these people, well, some of these bands, supposedly in the heavy rock or whatever, demonic or something, you know, I don't know. That's for these people to figure out. I don't know. You know, I'm just an actor. That's all. I'm just a YouTube couch potato actor, music. You know, that's it. I'm nobody. No one. Don't ever listen to me because I'm an idiot. But I feel bad for UPCHURCH. I don't feel good for anyone that loses like I said, you'll change your way of thinking once you lose everything you got and you're sleeping in a shed. Everything you own is in a shed. And yes, I slept in my own shed when they took everything from me. I moved my shed off of my property. Because I knew that they were con artists and there was no way I can go up against them. They would have killed me. So, yes, I lived in my shed. Not long at all. But when you ain't got nothing and it's the only place to lay your head, you'll thank God for that shed. Now, once again, I want to tell you folks, be easy on Upchurch. Because we don't know what kind of state of mind he's in. And we don't want him doing anything stupid. He will survive this. And even if he loses everything, at least he has his sanity, a place to live, a talent. I don't know if the kid knows a trade, but if he does, get back into the trade business and walk away. Maybe make a comeback later on when you got your head straight and your pocketbook straight. But other than this, am I saying Ryan Upchurch did all? No, I'm saying it could go both ways. They could have drove him to this. He could have been pushed to say she wasn't real. He could have been dosed. He could have been listening to people, and all along they were leading him down the wrong road. And he thought he was untouchable. Well, there ain't too many people that are untouchable. The people that are untouchable, you have never heard of or seen on any camera, any movie screen, any news brief or anything. Them are the dudes you got to worry about. The dude, one of the dudes that say, we have no idea who he is. Yeah, because them are the dudes with real power. They're not on YouTube. They're not on the news. They're not on the cameras, the movie screens, or whatever. Well, there you go, folks. Upchurch, I feel horrible for you. Condolences to the Kylie Rodney family to this day still. And I covered that case. I'm dumb. I'm an idiot. And I knew that whoever was in that car was real. It wasn't fake. You know, Kylie Rodney was real. And a lot of people go, well, it wasn't Kylie. Well, whoever was in that vehicle when they pulled it out of the lake was real. And you're an idiot if you don't think that. These people think we live in a fairy tale where everything's fake. I don't know. I don't think these people are going to make it. But there you go, folks. Let's listen to Harry. What's his name? Harry. I don't even know what the name of this guy is.
Platform to speak on it, and I don't want to stand in anybody's way. Chad, if you go live tonight, like I said, send me the link, man. I'll jump up with you for a minute. But yeah, I just wanted to come in here and speak my piece on it, man. Like, you know, there's too many people. You could just slice the tension with a knife. There's so many people lately have been reaching out to me and been like, man, have you heard anything? And what do you think's going to happen? Do you really think they've seen that Doug Bishop video, the Ventures with Purpose guy? And there's a whole story behind that I might go into at some point about what Doug Bishop was saying to Ryan behind the scenes when all this was going down. But, you know, a lot of people seen his story and thought that Ryan was going to win this completely and come out unscathed and unharmed, whatever you want to call it, like unaffected. So I had a lot of people like, man, I sure hope that's not going to be the case. And they were really, you know, waiting to hear from somebody what was going to happen. So I just wanted to jump in here and say it. Yeah, there's a first judgment. There's going to be another Stop time. No, not at all. But yeah, they're going to move on to the next phase of it. There's more, like Seeper was saying earlier. It's the same thing. The same report I got said the same thing. Just so far, 17.5 million judgment against him for this, and yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys showing up, hanging out with me for a minute. I'm going to go back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. First judgment, 17.5. But, you know, he can appeal that. There's many things he probably will do. How long before that family gets the money? Who knows? If he cuts a deal, they might get money right away. They might take over property. We don't know. He'd have to liquidate everything and see what he's worth, because they're only saying he's worth 4 or 5 million, if that. You know, all this stuff that these guys were pumping out, that he was making 500,000 a day. You know, if that was true, he'd have hundreds of millions. Crap, we've been watching him for how long on YouTube? I don't think he made that much, because I don't think he's that famous. You know, he wasn't a YouTube famous, but he ain't pulling in the money. I don't think he's pulling in the money that they were talking that what's that one guy, Calhoun, was claiming he was making over 500,000 a day or something. You know, and we were watching him that long. And if he was making that kind of money, he'd be well worth more than 4 or 5 million. So it ain't adding up. And now what'll happen? Well, they'll come in and appraise everything. You know, they'll send the repossession guys in and they'll go through his whole life to see if he's got any wills, any property, anything hidden. You know, depending how serious the court goes, they might turn his whole life upside down. You know, to get that 17.5, but it ain't even over yet. You know, so don't take any of this to what I'm saying or anyone else is saying. The whole thing could be a scam. We don't know. We're just YouTube cows. That's all we are. We just watch what they put in front of us. And anything social media is 50-50. You don't know if it's real or not. You don't know if it's the truth or not. I probably would say over that price, 70, 20, or 30 or whatever. We have no idea. Well, everybody is sue happy. So what do? Well, now we're poor. We don't have the money to voice our opinion. We don't have the lawyers. So we, the poor, have to shut our mouths. Because it's become a country of suing. Because they don't want to go out and earn an honest dollar. You folks have a great day. Page Turner, I can sue you if I want. Valdez, I can also, because you folks both go ahead and all the evidence is right here. All the stuff you've been saying, all evidence of what do they call that? Stalking. Yeah, internet stalking, which I'm not going to sue. I was raised different. You don't sue people to make $1. I guess I could if I wanted to. They've been harassing me and stalking me. It's all been documented through YouTube and everything. They're fake accounts. They belong to somebody with a lot of money. And they didn't think my team would be able to track them down, but they have. Oh, well. I don't know what to tell you. Tune in for the next ghost of Johnny Kramer, a.k.a. John Wick. Now, you folks have a great day. I'd love to hang out with you folks, but I am just too poor to even talk to you people. God bless you all. Maybe one day I'll be rich and then I can have friends, maybe a woman. But till then, I guess I have to remain free. And no one tells me what to do, and I'm poor. You folks have a good day. God bless. Folks, make sure you go over there and check out Jim Bob's channel. Let me post it one more time in my chat. Now, do I know this guy? Never met him in my life. There you go. I posted it right there. Go over there and check out his channel. The guy's got some points. I got to give props where props are due. It's like singing music and everything. I'll give UPCHURCH props where props are due. The dude's got a good voice. The greatest voice in the world? No. The kid can sing. He can write. The greatest sing? No. No. Not the greatest of nothing. God is the greatest at everything. Not me. They're not UPCHURCH. Now, you folks have a great day. God bless. All glory goes to God. And the hunt for Debbie Fox or Deborah, some woman named Deborah, continues. Paige Turner's in love with her. Now, have a great day. God bless.